We do not have a Hillary this week. So, as such, we really can't continue with the primary plotline, but I have the wrong notes pulled up on my computer. Okay, but due to the way the system works and the way these kinds of this genre of story does in general, the characters are pretty competent enough to go on their own little adventures, even during the plot. So, this session will probably be a bit shorter, as we're going to follow Florence and Colton on their own little daily deals.
Side quest.
Side quest. Yeah, pretty much. So, when last we left off, you guys did some light B&E and found a strange. What was that?
Only light.
Only light. And found a strange like antique compact in Zach's house. Zach Kirkland being the fellow who seems to be the one that was recording you guys while you were in the other world. Yeah, and Florence had the idea to take this compact to Shauna Hamarch, I believe that was her last name, who is the owner and proprietor of Elizabeth's Eldritch Encounters.
Woo!
Problem is, her store doesn't really open until like 3 p.m., so you guys have like a full day ahead of you before like you could even go down there. So, that being said, who would actually like to go on their little pre-plot side quest first?
Flip a coin?
Should we roll for it? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Both of you give me a D4 roll.
Oh god, I have to find a dice. Hang on.
You can hop into Roll20 if you want.
Alright. I remember how to play this game. I remember how to use Roll20.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Just click it on intelligence because that's a D4. That's a 1.
Okay, so we're going Florence first. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fortuitously, Florence is the first to finish. I ran out of Fs. Oh well. So, yeah, Florence wakes up in his what did you say? A Victorian townhouse?
Yeah. He's got this nice little property. There's not much land, and it is like a restored, old house.
Yeah, so he worked out a deal with the Historic Society, and he has basically managed to finagle a property so that he pays very little in terms of rent in exchange for upkeep and like house care.
It's one of those like adopt a castle sort of deals.
Yeah, but in Maine.
Yes.
So yeah, Florence gets up. He does his I'm sure a hour-long morning routine of getting ready for work.
At a minimum, yes.
Yeah. And so I don't know if we established this. Does Florence have his own mode of transportation, or does he take public transit to work?
Actually, I was thinking about this because
Scooter. He has a Vespa.
No.
He 100% has a Vespa. If anyone
Okay.
had a Vespa, it would be Florence.
All right, he has a Vespa, but also,
But in addition,
I was seeing these real old, like, I imagine that he would have, like, a Gatsby car.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
is
Yeah.
Florence
Like a Rolls Royce from, like, 1920.
is Florence just one of those people that was born in the wrong century?
He was born... I don't know if any century is fully capable of containing him.
Oh, amazing! So he drives this antique Rolls Royce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hope that car alarm's not picking up. So he
I
drives
heard
this.
a little
I
bit
heard
of it.
it.
Okay. So he drives this antique Rolls Royce to work from
Mhm.
his antique house to the
Mhm.
antique district of this
Mhm.
antique town.
The aesthetics slap. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Florence is up there on the food chain in the tourism department, but like he's not the top dog or anything. Like
No,
he still has people to answer to who also answer to people.
he's the guard
But
dog.
yeah. uh so yeah, I'll give you the choice of whether Florence has like a small office or like a optimally placed cubicle.
Hmm. Now you've hit me with this, and like I could come up with something for each, but I think that maybe they give him a small office because he used to have a cubicle and he kept spilling over. Like he was one of those people that like decked out the cubicle and everyone was like, "We Florence, you gotta slow down."
Okay. So yeah, Florence has his own little cubicle in the tourism
Oh,
department.
is it a cubicle
Or
or
not
a
cubicle. I'm in office.
uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's not a very big office. Let's see.
But
It's
it
about
does contain the
it
fake
does contain him.
chandelier.
Oh yes, of course. He only gets like one window next to his door though. So it's
Mhm.
not one of those opulent offices where every surface is a window.
Mhm.
I'll go ahead and give you a window to the outside too, but it like faces the adjacent building.
Oh, you're being generous.
Oh yes.
His rival has a fully windowed office and he's just seething with jealousy.
Hey, more wall space to decorate.
Yeah. So yeah, Florence. He gets his office. He gets all settled out, and you know what? Give me a quick int or dex check, whichever one you prefer.
I feel like those have wildly different connotations. Let's go int. And I got a 6 in int.
Okay. So yeah, as you're getting things sorted out, something feels off about your office.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is it's hard to place it at first, and but then as you're like going around taking like inventory of everything, uh you notice that there is one of those weird little drugged out gnomes standing behind one of your potted plants that I'm sure Florence has in his office.
Uh, okay, so it's not corporate espionage. So that's
It
good.
It could be.
Yeah, you don't know who this gnome works for.
Okay, all right. So naturally, Florence freaks out and he hates it. Can he try and just like kick this gnome?
Oh yeah, give me a
Just
yeah.
out of
Give me
primal reflex.
give me Dex -1 for your attack, because I think I think it might be like Dex +1 for a unarmed attack, but Florence isn't
Yeah,
very
no.
dexy.
He's trying to kick a soccer ball in stilettos.
Yeah,
So that would be a 3.
a 3. So, Florence whips out, tries to kick this thing, hits his plant,
Oh
falls
no.
over.
Oh no.
The plant falls over. You see the
Oh
gnome.
no.
You see the gnome is kind of standing stock still. It teeters a bit, then it falls over, and it cracks a bit on his lushly carpeted floor.
Oh no.
And upon this commotion, you hear from the other side of your office door, like, "Hey, Florence, are you okay?"
I dropped something.
So the door opens up, and one of your coworkers, Norman, pops his head in, and he looks at the state of you, the state of the plant, the state of the gnome, and he's just kind of grinning, and he's like, "Okay, I was wondering if you'd find it."
What?
He gestures at it, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I found that thing when I went to visit my nana last weekend. Like, thing's creepy, isn't it?"
It's okay. This is yours.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought maybe like we could use it in some promotion or something.
I,
You know, like,
it it
look at
scared the
it.
life out of me.
Exactly. Like, look, if we get some grainy pictures of this, like hanging out in like the park or something, that I don't know, that might drum up some tourism.
It you know,
Yeah,
there's a thought. That's a thought.
he walks over and hoists it up, and like now that you can see it in full, like it's not as like tripped out as the gnomes that you had encountered, but this thing is still an evil looking garden gnome.
Uh-huh.
But like it's also a garden gnome complete with like shovel and like fake, like a fake grass circular stand, and the little cobbled shoes with the belts on them.
And it is inanimate.
Oh yeah, this thing is purely ceramic. If the ear
Okay.
that fell off while he picked it up is any indication.
Yeah, you can never tell.
Oh yeah, no. But yeah, he leans over and he gets the ear, and he's like, "Wow, you did a bit of a number on this little fella, didn't you?"
Yeah, it got me good. I think that there's got to be super glue somewhere in this building.
Oh yeah, Fred probably has some. Oh, super glue reminded me. Give me like 5 minutes. I'll be right back. And he puts the gnome down, like still in your office, just kind of like next to the door. And he's like, just watch over Henry here for me. And he heads out.
Uh, so Florence is going to start like sadly scooping up dirt from the toppled plant, and just he like kind of give up halfway through and just kind of sit there.
Is he just sitting on the floor?
Yes.
Oh, he's been up for like an hour and a half, and it's already a rough day.
It's a rough. He's gonna need to call someone in on this. Like, I imagine that he is already texting somebody in the office that is like close enough of a acquaintance that he has their number, and
Mhm.
just be, hey, do you think you could help me with a favor in my office?
So yeah, you send that text.
Because that does not sound suspicious at all.
Coming from Florence, honestly, it could go either way. But yeah, the previously mentioned Fred pokes his head in, and he's like, "Yeah, what you need help with? Knock over your plant, huh?"
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I know you're pretty crafty. You've got a lot of things going on. Do you think you could help me uh, pick up the pieces of this and kind of vacuum the carpet?
Yeah, sure. I guess I can go get the. Oh, jeez! And he turned and saw the little garden gnome standing next to his door. He's like, "Okay, that thing scared the bejeebus out of me. What? Who?"
Yeah, no. That's why I kicked my potted plant over.
Oh, jeez. I do not let that thing is cursed.
Very. It should be a great attraction.
Oh, we're keeping it. Great.
That's
Yeah.
what I heard.
He does Florence have like a little like sitting couch in his office?
Like a fainting couch?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So yeah, Fred kind of like reaches over to your fainting couch and gets one of those pillow doilies off of it. Just kind of
Mhm.
places it over the gnome's head. And it's like, okay, yeah, let's just get the dirt
I
up, and then
can't tell if that made it better or worse.
it's helping me ignore it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just get started on getting the majority of the dirt off this carpet, and then I'll run and grab the vacuum cleaner.
And to
And
be clear, Florence's wardrobe is not very conducive to like kneeling and doing things. Like he's gotta be in a very, rigidly defined pose to be in most of his clothes. So it is very uncomfortable to just kind of be on hands and knees scooping up dirt.
yeah, Fred understands this. He is he's trying to do the lion's share of the effort here,
Mhm.
because he
Yeah.
also knows that if anything happens with your clothes, you're out of the office for another hour.
Mhm. But at some point, Florence is going to give up and grab one of his hand fans off of it. He has like a holster for it on his desk, and he's going to go and fan himself on the fainting couch.
So at first I thought you meant like a little battery powered hand fan, but no,
Oh
you mean
no!
like the whole unfolding thing.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, just seems to be rolling with it. Like this is just same garbage, different day.
Hmm.
And, so yeah, he gets a majority of the stuff back in the plant and stands up, wipes off his knees, and says, "Okay, I'll go see if the vacuum's free." And he
Thank
he
you.
yeah, he walks out. He kind of gives the gnome a bit of a wide berth as he leaves. And yeah, as he's outside, you kind of hear like a, "Oh, hey, you just come from Florence's office? Yeah. Did Did you see the present? That thing's yours? Yeah. I'm going to punch you so hard when I get back." And yeah, so Norman comes back. He has a little dolly with him this time, and a moderately sized box on the dolly. So he rolls it in, and he sets it down, and he's like, "Okay, so uh, I so I know this isn't like the thing we were going for most recently, but again, I just want to pitch my idea for this. Like, we can ignore Henry all we want." And he looks over at the gnome again, sees that it has a little doily on its head, and you can see the gears in his mind turning for a ghost gnome. But he looks back at Florence and he's like, okay, so hear me out about this one again, and pops open the box and he takes out this little 6-inch tall action figure looking thing, and he hands it to Florence, and as Florence is looking at it, it seems to be a man-shaped lobster. And Norman goes, okay, so imagine Lobsquatch, this like amphibious crustacean cryptid. Okay, we get the weird spooky stuff that Portsmouth is known for, and we also get the weird lobster stuff that Portsmouth is known for, and then we just mash them together. Like,
see, I feel like this might piss off City Hall.
They already kind of are.
No, that was positive.
Oh, yeah. So,
and did you model this yourself?
No, I had a pal Jeremy model that.
Oh, he did a great job. See, this is what I like. This is creativity. This is inspiration.
Thank you.
I can see that you are very invested in this, and I love it.
Oh, that's good. I spent and he kind of pats the box next to him. He's like, I spent $500 getting these things printed off.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping they'd be ready before the festival, but no, I'm kind of glad they weren't.
Yes.
But yeah, I was thinking, I don't know, maybe we could stage a couple sightings, maybe out in the national park. I know a guy who could whip up a costume in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. Who are we gonna get to wear the costume?
I don't know. We'd need someone with a weird, lanky gorilla figure. I vote Frank.
Oh, Frank is just, he only gets the kids on the weekend, so we should kind of respect that.
Fine. I'll check around, see who we can get.
Okay.
So you think it's a good idea though, the whole Lobsquatch thing?
Oh yes, I love it. Look at this thing.
Yeah. And as you're kind of looking at it, you see that there is a little switch on the back, and when you press it, the little crab claw or lobster claws snap open and close.
Inspired. Amazing.
Yeah. All right. I'll get these little buddies sent over to marketing and start working on the paperwork to see if we can get these guys shipped out anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So are we starting off with the sightings? Do we want to try and get word of mouth going?
Yeah, but you know how long paperwork takes. By the time we do get the sightings and word of mouth going, these bad boys will be halfway through getting approved.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll contact Jeremy to get more of these sorted, and then he starts mumbling as he brings the dolly off, and you don't know if it was intentional or not, but he definitely left the gnome there.
Yeah. I know he did.
So, yeah, but barring this incident, what does Florence's usual day look like?
So he has some, he's got some paperwork on hand, and there's a lot of sending emails to different departments and kind of facilitating, whatever needs to be done. If we gotta write up any contracts. He can. He's obviously taken a business course, so he can some business courses. I think he has like a minor in business, but he can definitely do that. And phone calls, emails, like the whole like office job situation.
Okay, fair enough. So speaking of emails,
Mhm.
while you were going through and checking all of your emails, one in particular catches your eye, and that is a email that is sent to Florence from Autumn Summers, the mayor's aide.
Mhm.
And the thing that actually like catches your eye about this more so than usual is this seems to be sent from Autumn's personal email and not like her city hall email, their city hall email.
Mhm.
Uh,
Um. Hmm.
yeah, the header for the email is "need to talk."
Okay, I'll open that one.
Okay, so yeah, you open the email. The email was sent earlier today, and yeah, it's very short. It says, "Need to talk now. Meet me at like Hoagie's sandwich shop."
Pokey sandwich shop.
Yeah, it's you know where it is. It's where a lot of office people go to get quick sandwiches. It's
Okay, is it almost
yeah, it's like
lunchtime?
yeah, after the events and the all the answering of emails and phone calls, it's getting
Mhm.
pretty close to lunch.
Yeah.
And yeah, and honestly, nobody would stop Florence if he went for an early lunch
Mhm.
because they know you're good for making up time.
Mhm. So he checks his schedule to make sure he doesn't have any meetings, and then he, decides to pack up, and uh, he lets Frank know. He passes Frank, and he lets him know that he's going to be having an early lunch.
Frank gives you a wave. He seems to be having lunch at his desk today. So yeah,
Mhm.
you head on over. Yeah, Hoagie's sandwich shop is about halfway between City Hall and the the tourism board.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's in the historic district. It has this very like vintage '50s diner feel to it, but
Okay.
like it also has like a little drive-through section, so people can just grab their lunch and go.
Mhm.
Uh, as you as you enter, you spot Autumn pretty easily. They're sitting at one of those little half booths, where booth on one side, regular chairs on the other. But
Mhm.
yeah, they have the chairs pushed over to fit their wheelchair underneath it.
Mhm.
As you approach, you see that they look like they haven't slept in a while, and you start hearing this really sharp, like a tinking sound. And as you get closer, you realize that it is the coffee cup they have, uh, and their hands are just shaking so hard that it is rattling against the table.
Okay, well that's not good. Uh, so he's gonna go over to their table and kind of not even say hello, just get into the booth and just
oh, oh, okay. I'm glad you actually came.
well, I saw your
How?
email.
Oh, good. Good. I assumed you did. I mean, you're here.
Mhm.
So how are things at the tourism department? And you
Uh,
see that their eyes are just darting all over the place.
so here's the thing: is that that's not what you want to talk about. So why don't we talk about what you want to talk about?
They like make a like a last little survey of the area, and then they lean in and they're like, "Okay, I guess I owe you an apology. Turns out ghosts are real. Um, what do I do about that?"
Okay, so uh, okay, we don't have any food or anything, right? Like we have not even been served.
Yeah, they just seem to have a cup of coffee.
Mhm. So he'll fold his hands on the table and say, "So, it sounds like you've had some experiences lately that are outside of the ordinary."
Yeah, you could say that. You could say that. Oh, was that the end of your statement? Yes. Yeah, things. That, they take a drink of their coffee and set it back down. Okay. It's been happening the past couple nights. There's
Mhm.
okay. I thought it was like a shadow at first, or like some PTSD from the whole explosion or something.
Mhm.
I don't know. But then things started changing in my house, and I don't mean like, oh, here's the salt shaker and it's now 3 inches to the left. Oh, I didn't put it there. What's going on? No, I mean like, here's the salt shaker. Oh, what's that? The salt shaker is now a gravy boat, and like, I don't own a gravy boat. Who eats gravy? Uh, and things like that. My hardwood chair is now made of carpet. Uh, I like, I still have it. I wasn't going to throw it away on the off chance that it decides to not be carpet anymore, but I have a chair made of carpet. Um, and so I thought
Okay.
somebody would. Yes,
Have you seen anything aside from the changes? Have you seen anything?
they nod. Yeah, it looked like a shadow at first, so that's why I wrote it off. But like, as the days went on, like, it started gaining definition, and it I am being haunted by some kind of ghost corpse. I don't know who I ticked off or what grave I rolled over, but like, it is haunting me, and I don't know what to do about it.
Okay, so can can Florence kind of like focus real hard and try and summon uh Moonlight Prestige?
Yeah, uh, yeah, you could summon Moonlight Prestige, no problem. Uh,
Okay. Do I
but
mark off an AP?
uh, yeah, let's go ahead and mark off an AP,
Okay.
and
And so he
since
kind of like turns his palm over so that the rat will appear like in his palm.
yeah, Autumn like spills their coffee and like scrabbles back a little bit and says, there's what is that?
This is Moonlight Prestige, and
Okay,
it's a little rat, but it looks like crystals.
I can see that.
And so this has been happening for a couple of days. Uh, so I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Um, I think that your shadow is your little crystal rat.
No, I don't think if you heard me the first time, this thing is a floating corpse. This is not some dainty little, admittedly adorable rat.
So he like puts Moonlight Prestige on his shoulder and says, "Well, I saw one that was a snake made out of whipped cream,
They look completely confused.
and then the other one, yeah, there's I don't know actually a lot about it, which is pretty annoying for me. But I know that there are ones that are attached to us, and then there are ones that are not attached to us, and I think the ones that are not attached to us are violent."
So what do I do? What do I do about this?
Um, have you? Hmm. So I just kind of thought about Moonlight Prestige a lot, and then he kind of just popped up. It's
They their eyes have gone back to darting around. Like it is obvious that they are seeing if this thing has appeared here, and they very obviously do not want it to have appeared.
Have you tried wanting it to appear?
No.
Well,
Why
what
would
if
I
it's
want?
nice?
It turned my salt shaker into a gravy boat. How was it
Well,
nice?
oh, that is not the meanest thing that I can think of to do to your salt shaker.
Okay, fair. But it's still pretty terrifying. Like, did your rat, I don't know, slash your tires while you were sleeping or something? How did that thing show up?
Well, it's kind of a long story. Um,
They check their watch and say, well, we still have 45 minutes for lunch.
uh, well, uh, I was pulled into an alternate dimension and, uh, attacked by gnomes.
Okay.
You know, when I say it like that, that's not very long story.
Yeah. So
But,
so yeah.
yeah, uh, okay, Mixed Summers, has what about the other people? What about like your children? You know, the other people that live in your house. Have they noticed anything?
Okay. Well, thankfully they have not. My husband and kids, outside of the carpet chair and apparently our 2-ply toilet paper becoming 1-ply, haven't noticed anything too drastic happening in our house.
Um, so here's the thing. The only people that I have met who are able to see this stuff have their own little buddy.
You see that the color just drains from their face.
So
Oh,
either you have a little buddy or the corpse is your little buddy.
oh, please no.
I mean, here's the thing. If the corpse is your little buddy, you could just have it turn around. Just not face you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Huh?
he kind of like wills Moonlight Prestige to like face away. See? Look at that. No problem.
I guess I could try that. They go to take a drink of their coffee and just immediately just and as you look, their coffee has seemingly just turned into water.
Okay,
Like, okay, see, this is what happens.
which means it must be nearby.
Uh, Florence. Let's see. I 1 second. I've forgotten what all the standard checks are. Let's see, page 34. Might Yeah, if you want, this might be this could be a junction check. I'm going to set it at 6, so it's a little difficult.
Okay.
But yeah, this will be an int, and either your choice of speed or range if you want this to be a junction.
Let's go with int and range.
All right, mark off another anima point.
Okay, 10.
Nice. So, yeah, you start looking around and you send off Moonlight Prestige, and Autumn follows it as it goes running around. It hops over the counter and scrambles to the back, and then it scrambles back in the main dining area. Just starts going straight up the wall, and as you two are following it, you see that it stops next to the light above your table, and hanging on the ceiling is very much what you imagined Autumn has been describing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the top half of a mummified, withered corpse. It has long, gray, stringy hair and tattered purple robes, kind of just crisscrossed across it. And you see that the skin around its around the front of its hairline has raised up into like five little spikes, so it kind of looks like it's wearing a crown, and it has like just deep, hollow eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Do I need to like roll a charisma check to like keep a straight face?
you know what? Yeah, let's go. This one's going to be an 8. Because this is some.
I don't think you understand who Florence is. He is completely unfazed. He looks so calm.
Autumn looks like they're about ready to book.
Okay,
Like,
so he is going to stand up, but not, in a hurry, and he's just going to say to them, like, all right, walk and talk. Let's get outside.
yeah, they nod and they angle themselves out from under the table and start following after you. And if you glance back, the mummified corpse, it's doing the classic horror movie crawl, where like it'll speed up then slow down, then speed up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Autumn looks like they are about to lose their mind.
Mm-hmm. So, do we get outside without incident, or?
Yeah, you guys make it outside without incident. This thing is mostly following behind you guys. A few couple dozen feet behind you. It does slip out of the sandwich shop before the door closes, and it's kind of just like crawling alongside the walls of the buildings you guys are walking past as you're going.
Yeah. So can Florence kind of like detour them into like between a few buildings and
Like
like
going
it
into
like
going
an
into an
alley.
alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the alleys are relatively clean in Portsmouth. It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. And uh he's checking to make sure that uh Autumn is following.
Yeah, like they have to maneuver around detritus every now and then, but they're keeping up with you pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. And is the corpse also?
Yeah, like for a second you think maybe it lost interest or you guys somehow like lost it, but yeah, it peeks around the corner and it's about 10 feet up on the wall when it comes crawling around the corner.
Uh, so he's going to stop a little ways into the corner, into the alley rather, and say, "Okay, McSummers, can you try to mentally command it to stop?
What?
Just think about making it stop."
Okay, so they turn to look at it and sweating profusely at this point, and it very much does come to a bit of a stuttery stop.
Okay. Uh, can you make it move somewhere else?
Uh, they yeah, they keep looking at it, and you see it takes a ah. I guess step isn't the right word because it's kind of crawling with hands, but like it takes kind of like a few crawls back.
Um, Florence just like claps his hands and says, "Brilliant!
Huh?
Yeah, so this is your little buddy. Do you know what its name is?"
The you see that when they turn their attention to you, the corpse crawls back like to where it was, but stops a good 10, 15 feet away from them. Name? Why would this thing have a name?
I don't know. Moonlight Prestige has a name.
Uh, I, I don't know. Should it have a name?
I I mean, the way it worked for me is I just kind of knew.
Um. Okay. Uh, that doesn't bode well. But the only thing that pops into my head is like Lavender Baphomet.
Lavender Baphomet. That actually sounds really interesting, and I feel like I'm learning about you. And
They say, you do not have to lie on my behalf. Therefore,
no, you see, you see, this is sort of a personality, and I didn't think you had one of those.
great. I'm glad we're back to banter.
Uh, I'm sorry, that was a little callous. I suppose I just I didn't think you had it in you, I guess.
Thank you. I suppose.
Um, do you think you could make it turn things into other things?
Um, I don't know. Like what?
I look at like one of the bricks on the wall and turn it into jello.
Hmm. Oh, okay. So yeah, you see them concentrating on a brick in the wall. It's one of those bricks that's like not quite the same color as the rest of the brick, so it's easy to spot out. And you see a lavender Baphomet does its creepy little crawler deal over to the brick, and it just kind of pokes it with one finger, and it ripples out from contact. And as the ripples encompass the rest of the brick, you see that it turns kind of shiny and translucent like Jello.
You did it!
Oh boy, I'm so glad.
And here's the thing, is that means that you can turn your salt shaker back into a salt shaker.
Okay, that's good.
Probably.
Great. How do I make it? Not be here.
Um, you're kind of asking me because I don't really know how this works. You're kind of asking me like, how do you blink? And I don't know how to answer that. It's just like you do it.
So so you what? You make your little mouse go away on instinct?
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, don't be here anymore, and Moonlight Prestige is not.
Okay, I just need to want it to go away. Great. Wonder why that hasn't worked before. And as you look back up, Lavender Baphomet's just kind of like its back is to you guys, but its head has like turned fully so that the back of its head is touching where its spine should be, and just making eye contact with the both of you. Well, eye contact if it had eyes.
And I rolled an 11 on that charisma check to not be phased.
Oh yeah, yeah. You are soldiering through.
So he's gonna like kind of click clack his little stiletto heels over toward Lavender Baphomet and kind of like, hey.
It tilts its head at you.
Can you talk? Oh, that's terrifying. I hate that.
Yeah, me too.
Why don't you leave?
You see that it like snaps its attention back over to Autumn, and Autumn's like, yeah, I would appreciate it if you would go now. And it looks back at Florence, and it begins to fade away. Unfortunately, as it does so, it also just goes. But yeah, it has eventually vanished, and as it does, you see that the brick that was that it had turned into Jello seems to be a normal brick once again.
Huh.
So, is it gone for good, or what's
I
the?
think you can call it back.
I don't wanna.
I mean, you don't have to.
Oh, that's good to know. Like, these things don't just appear if you get spooked or anything, or.
Oh, well, actually, yes.
Oh, that's great.
It's okay. All right. He kind of like puts his hands together and says, okay, it's the way that I've noticed it working is that it's kind of a defense mechanism.
Oh, okay.
And so the problem is that I did mention that there are violent creatures of these types.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Are
Yes.
they all that terrifying?
No, they're terrifying in fun and new, exciting ways.
Oh, that's lovely.
But
yeah, they're kind of rubbing the bridge of their nose at this point.
the thing is that I suppose I understand how you're feeling about this.
You do?
Yes, see, I didn't know that this was happening until a couple of days ago either. And while my companion is not quite as unpleasant to be around.
Pants-crappingly terrifying.
Yes, the monsters that I encountered were pretty terrifying. And it's weird.
Weird's a good word for it.
Yes, so, yeah, you might want... Okay, here's my phone number.
They, yeah, they take out their phone and add you in as contact. Well, actually, they don't add you as a contact, but you do see that they change your contact name and like contact photo to like actually be your name and your photo.
Yeah, and not butt fart or
Yeah,
whatever.
not butt fart 320 and have like a Sasquatch as the contact image.
All right. So if you happen to encounter any dangerous creatures, you might want to call me because, I could probably help out with that.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. And
Um,
I guess for whatever I can do on my end, I'll try my best to keep City Hall off your back.
yeah, actually, this has absolutely nothing to do with the whole City Hall and Bureau. This is like a completely separate incident, which is wild.
They nod and they're like, "Yeah,
Uh, but on the upside, this could be very good for tourism.
they they clench their jaw for a second and then say, best case scenario, yes."
What? You get the sales, you get the sales tax and extra funding from the tourism.
Yeah, we do. They kind of like walk you out of the alleyway back onto the street, and they're like, "Hey, do you need like a ride back to the tourism board or anything? Am I I'm probably gonna get a ride back to City Hall here in a minute."
Hmm. Oh, well, I mean, that would be fine.
Okay, so yeah, you two wait for your cab to come by, and in the meantime, we will go back a couple hours and go see how Colton is doing.
Your turn.
Why do I have to sign in again?
Because Roll20 is weird and doesn't let you stay signed in.
Yeah. Wait, I'm still subscribed. Launch game. Do, 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 do.
Ow.